I'm going to grab this message with my mouse. I'm going to left click on it, but hold the mouse button down, and I'm going to drag this over to my calendar. I am dragging an email to my calendar folder in the navigation pane. You want to see that again? Let me show you. I'm closing it down. I don't want to save any changes yet. I'm going to grab it and drag it to my calendar. Let go. Now, what Outlook has done is it said, I think that you want to build a new appointment using this email. So let's get going. Outlook says, well, the subject of the email was meeting reminder. Okay, well, I'm going to say, because this is an appointment, I'm just going to change my subject to a meeting. And I'm going to walk through like I always do when I set up a new appointment. This is business. The start time is going to be, the start date is going to be December the 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning. Outlook is going to automatically give me my end time as the same date but 10:30 because remember, I set up my settings to do 30-minute increments in my appointments. But I know this meeting's probably going to last an hour, or at least that's what I'm going to say. And I'm going to give myself a reminder for 15 minutes and show that I am busy at that time. Now I'm going to save and close this. And if I go back to my calendar and I double check myself, I click on the 13th, look, I've got my meeting set up for 10 o'clock. Okay, now let me open up this appointment again, and I want to come down here to the bottom and look at this interesting stuff down here. That email was actually placed in the body of my form. So when I clicked and dragged from my inbox over to my calendar, Outlook brought everything that was necessary, meaning the body of the email, and plopped it right down here at the bottom of my form for me. And as a reminder, I can always go in and attach any contacts from my address book or any categories that I built to this specific meeting to help me later. But at this point, if I read the email, it says, remember to bring those important documents to the meeting. Oh yeah, I remember those important documents now. And those important documents, as a matter of fact, all I'm doing is I'm making my windows a little bit smaller so you can see where I'm going with this. I have these two very important documents that my boss sent me earlier this week. Now I'm starting to remember. Here's a very important document that I need to go to this meeting right here in Outlook. What if I just grab this document and I bring it down here and hold my mouse over my button bar down at the bottom, my start bar, and hold it for just a second? You can see that my meeting pops up. And if I drag this very important document to the body of my email, which is just barely showing up at this point because what I did is I squished down my windows so you could see what I'm doing. I'm going to let it go. Then I'm going to maximize. And now look at this. My very important document has now been attached with my email to this meeting that is now scheduled at 10 o'clock for December the 13th. I can save and close. If I come to December the 13th, let me go ahead and make this screen a little bit bigger for you. If I come to December the 13th and I double click on my meeting, well look, I've not only got my very important document, but I've got my email there. At this point, looks like I'm pretty much organized and ready for this meeting, right? Well, let's take it a step further. I'm going to save and close this appointment. I'm going to make my window a little bit smaller so that you can see what I'm doing here. I've got another very important document that my boss gave me. Now, what I want to show you is there are different ways to do this. If I grab this other very important document and I drag it over here to what you think is going to be the meeting, this is just a little bit of warning, and I let it go, Outlook does not attach this document to the meeting because I never did actually open that meeting. Outlook just saw that I was going over to the calendar, and so it's trying to build an appointment around this document. Because I clicked on the document and I dragged it over to calendar, Outlook thinks that I'm trying to stick something into the calendar. So I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save it. Now I'm going to double click on my meeting and open it. I'm going to make my window just a little bit smaller so that we can follow along. And this time what I want to do is I want to bring this window open just a little bit so you can see. Remember, down here's the body of my window. This is my meeting, just to kind of get you up to speed. I've got another very important document over here. I'm going to click and drag it over. Now in the body of my email, if I make it, in the body of my appointment, my meeting. I've got the 2 documents I need. I've got an email. And as a matter of fact, if I want to come down here to the bottom and I want to start typing any notes for this meeting, then I can do that right here. And I can save and close, and I am set for that meeting. And as a matter of fact, let me open this meeting back up and let me show you. If I want to remind myself of this meeting a day before, let's just go ahead and do it. I'm going to remind myself a day before, save and close, and you can tell I've got a reminder because I've got the little bell up here that looks like an alarm. So now what that means is on December the 12th, I'll get a little reminder about this meeting. I can then go into all of my documents because it will open up the meeting for me, and I can pull and open and change and just be prepared for this meeting. But what if I need to remind myself not just to prepare for the meeting, but let's say that I need to schedule the conference room? Well, I'm going to go ahead and open up Outlook just a little bit larger there on our screen, and I'm going to scroll down to where do you think, if I need to do something, it's not a promised time, it's not something I'm going to put in the calendar, where am I going to go? If it's a to-do, correct, I'm going to go to my task list, and you can see that I've got all of my tasks over here on the right-hand side, but you know what else I could do, is I could come over here to my contacts. And remember, I could come up here to view, and I could view the task pad, which then changes my screen just a little bit and brings my task pad over here to the right-hand side. This is a great tool to keep the day that you are viewing, or today, right here in front of you, along with any to-dos for that specific day listed over here to the right-hand side. So what I can easily do is I can come over here to the task pad and double-click. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. I'm just going to click and drag it open a little bit. See how I'm doing that? And I'm going to say reserve conference room. And when do I need to do this? Well, let me show you this. I don't need to do this until, let's say the 12th. What if I just type a 12 and hit tab? Hey, Outlook knows exactly what I want to do. I just typed a 12. I didn't type in the date. I didn't have to make it look just like this, the WED, the 12 dash or /12/2007. In fact, I didn't even have to click anywhere. All I did is I typed the number 12. And then I hit the tab key and I keep moving around in Outlook. It's not started. Priority is going to be high. I can use my mouse or I can tab. And as a reminder to reserve the conference room, yes, I would like a reminder that same day at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I can go down here and I can put a note for the meeting tomorrow. Save and close. And now why isn't my task showing up over here? Do you remember that? The reason my task isn't showing up is because I have given it a date. And the date is not today. The date is the 12th. We're not viewing the 12th. We're not even to the 12th yet. So Outlook is saying you don't even need to see this to-do or this list of things that you have due coming up in the future until you get to the day that they're due. So I'm not going to bother you with it. I'm not going to stick it out there to clutter your mind. We're just going to wait till we get to the 12th, and then you're going to see that task on your task list. But what if I do want to see all of my tasks regardless of what day I'm viewing? I can just come right over here and click on the task icon in our navigation pane. And here's my task, and here's my due date. So you can see everything over here listed when the time comes, even without getting to that specific date. Okay, now keep following me. We're going to do something even a little bit more fun. I'm going to go back to my inbox, which is where this whole thing started. This was a meeting reminder from my boss, and then I had to scrounge around and hurry up and put something on the calendar, and I had to attach a couple of documents to it. But now let's say that, okay, I've got this meeting reminder, and I know that I've also got a task to schedule the conference room. But what I want to remember when I schedule the conference room is also to get things like water, bottled water, sodas, maybe a few snacks. Well, watch this. What if I decide I'm going to take this email, I'm going to drag it over here to notes, and I'm going to let it go? Well, now look at this. A little sticky note popped up with my email on here. What if I put a little note up here that says, remember to get